welcome back to Getting Started. Right now, I'm going to go over the seven different data types that there are in JavaScript, and I'm just going to go through them one by one and give an example with each. Data types essentially are kind of like keywords or key vocabulary that JavaScript has that it will understand no matter what. So as long as it is one of these seven data types, then JavaScript is going to be like, oh yeah, I know what that is. Let's use it. So number is going to be the first data type that we go over in JavaScript, and it's simply digits from 0 to 9. There's no quotes around it. There's not commas in between the numbers. It's simply the digits. And to test it out, I'm going to print out this variable number, which holds a number, and we're going to run it. These letters I put in the print, and that's just so we can separate it out as we go along through this drill. You can see that it's just a number. That's it. There's nothing really to it. The next one is a string, and a string is essentially text. So any words, letters, text that you want to use, it will be in quotes. And I think a confusing thing that I just thought of between strings and words is that string is specific text, whereas, for example, on line 5, we have a variable named num, right? And I can print num without quotes around it because I've declared that variable. Num here doesn't print out the letters num, it prints out whatever the variable num is holding. I hope that makes sense because I can see how that's confusing, how some letters have strings around it and others just like a random word. As long as you're talking about like any text, then it's going to be a string. So here's an example. I've declared a variable called string, not quotes because it's a variable name. And then the string holds a value of text that says hello world. So to test it out, console.log, the string is string. It's going to give me the value of the variable string, which should be hello world right here. The next one is Boolean, and essentially that is just two things, true or false. That's it. So I have two different variables, one called bool1, which is false, and then the second one to bool2, which is true. And I'm going to print these out. And there are your two Booleans. So Booleans are really good with if-else statements, which if you haven't gone to them yet, you will. And also just as you code, like they're very useful. Yeah, that's it. Booleans are A or B, black or white, true or false. Again, these are not within quote marks because it's specific JavaScript vocabulary that I understand. And this kind of vocabulary is called the Boolean. Okay, next one is null. Unlike some other languages, I believe, where null means it doesn't exist, in JavaScript, null actually means that an empty element, an empty value, it means nothing, like literally nothing, like empty, nothing. So null doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It means it's there, but there's nothing there. It's purposefully, or maybe not purposefully, empty. Okay, and I can't name the variable null because otherwise JavaScript will understand it as null. So I just named it zip. Zip, zilch, nada. Get it? I'm going to print this out. Null means null. Yeah, that's a hard one to explain. Okay, so the next one up is undefined, and I think people get confused between null and undefined, but null means nothing. And undefined means that like a variable is declared but never defined. An example of undefined is line 25, where I declare a variable, but it doesn't hold any value to it. It's literally just a variable. Be like, hey, I was created, but I have no purpose. I'm not holding any information. And when I print that out, then I get oops is undefined because it's there, it exists, but it's just not defined. Okay, the next data type is type of, and this is very useful because it literally just tells you what kind of data it is. Confusing, I know. So let's give you an example. Here on line 33, I have a variable called data type 1. This word type of, all lowercase, is a JavaScript data type. But you're gonna pass in whatever value you're trying to check the type of. So here it's 5, so I'm gonna print out that data type 1, and you'll see I get not 5, but it prints out number. because the type of this value is actually a number. All right, the last data type that we're going to go over in JavaScript is an object. An object is basically another way to hold information, but its purpose is to hold a little bit more detailed information with labels. So here, within an object, you have a key and a value, and each one of these is called a key-value pair. And so here I define the object. So France is French, Peru is Spanish, Sweden is Swedish, and Switzerland has 4 official languages. All of this is true. Cool. So I can print out this entire object by calling this variable on line 49, console.log, country languages, and then there's your 7 different types of data that JavaScript understands. If you have questions, let me know in the comments. I will try to answer those personally. And I just remembered I'm not wearing headphones. So if this has no sound, that's going to be a problem. Ugh.